Hi everybody, welcome to the Inspiration Hub channel where we feature and highlight interesting authors and books for you to follow. If you are a book lover or you just simply love this kind of stories, do remember to click on the subscribe button below and support our work. Alright, and let's move on with today's show. Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. Today we have with us Dr. Andrew Koh from Ipoh, right, who actually authored this book, Memoirs of a Doctor. So Dr. Andrew is a cardiologist by specialist, and at the same time, he's also involved very actively in his Christian ministry works in his church. So today we would like to do an interview to find out more about what are the stories and what are the content that he
Sure.
wrote in his book.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Andrew, we'd like to ask you the first question for today. Would you explain to us about your background? So you are a doctor cardiologist, yet you are also actively carrying out your ministry works at the same time. So what inspired you to choose this path?
My name is Dr. Andrew Koh. I am a medical doctor for many years and also a cardiologist by training. I have been in private practice for 35 years in Ipoh until December 2019 when I retired from medical practice. Besides medical practice, I also serve in my local church as a Bible teacher and a church minister. I'm not a pastor, but I serve as a member of the church doing the church work. For example, they ask me to preach on and off. They ask me to give Bible classes. So because I'm a Christian for 35 years, so serving in a church is a calling of God. And God is the one who inspired me to serve Him as a doctor and also as a Christian leader in the church. So basically, that is what I used to do, but I have retired now, so I have more free time now.
How do you actually combine your faith and your profession together? Well, we know that being a doctor, you need to have a very good heart, to look after your patients and things like that. So well, I believe that does it come easy for you to put your faith into the profession and also put your profession into your faith? How does it work for you?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
As a doctor, I have to spend a lot of time in the hospital. So sometimes I cannot spend that much time in the church. The hospital take up a lot of my time. But Sunday I give to the church. 6 days I give to the hospital. On the Sunday I reserve it for church work. So that's how I apportion my time. But even then, sometimes we have emergency on Sunday. They also interrupt with my ministry work. Sort of. As a doctor, I treat people who are sick. They come to see me with heart attack, high blood pressure, with medical problem. But actually, when we ask further, they also have spiritual problems. They also emotional, psychological, social problem, all tying in together. All tying together to make him where he is. But some of them are under so much stress. Some of them has marriage problem in the family, problem with jobs, loss of job, loss of income. So they are very stressed up. They get a heart attack, at a very young age, get a heart attack. Sometimes they get a heart attack at the prime of their life. So that one also make them stress out because they know that after that they can't go back to work. They cannot earn the high income that they used to be earning. It will disturb them. So it make them unwell, all this. So for a holistic doctor, I want to approach all this. We have to treat the sickness, treat the physical sickness, and try and understand his emotions, social background, the spiritual aspect, all that, and try to help him in a holistic way. It helps to be a doctor like that, and we can understand the patient better. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, true, true. Because I believe that sometimes as a doctor, when you see your patients when they're sick, they are not only just um, physically ill, but sometimes there are things like what you say, things which are more emotional or mental or even spiritual. That will be,
Yeah,
I mean, you'll be able to come in to help in those
yeah.
aspect. Lah.
Yes,
So yeah, so in that
certainly, certainly.
yeah, so in that sense it's very very holistic. Yeah, so for yourself, what vision do you and calling do you plan to fulfill in this lifetime, or what do you see for yourself?
My vision is to be an established author, to be an established author and publisher. I don't care about the earning part. I don't care whether people buy my books. I know that it's very competitive. The book market is very competitive. Kindle sells 3.6 billion books. So it is very competitive out there. But as a author and a publisher, I my vision is to bring my books to as many readers as possible, to educate them, to inform them, to instruct, to encourage, to inspire them. Because my books will live on in the lives of my readers. Even after I leave this world, my books will be still out there on the shelf. So the books are powerful. Books are powerful and able to change life. So my vision and my calling is just to put my books out there
Mm,
for
that's true.
people to read.
Yeah, that's true. Because they say books are a form of immortal format. That means that even after we have, let's say, like we are no longer around, the legacy and the works are still there. Basically, they are all like
Yeah.
immortalized. Yeah. So really, really glad you decided to take this step to kind of like put all your life stories and your life works into like compile into different books. So want to move on to ask about your book. So I basically got this book sample from you, and wanted to ask, what inspired you to write these books? And you have also so many other books in your list. Maybe you can share with us on your part.
Well, this book is my autobiography. I have reached a life of retirement. So I have already reached that age of my life
Mm,
where anything can happen to me. So I want to put my story as a legacy. As a legacy for my family, my future generations. They will read on and off, they'll read and they know what happened to me. So
mm,
that is mainly my inspiration is for my family and not so much of putting out there for business. But because I thought, why not? If you can put an ebook out there, if people can read also, I'm sure you can benefit them also.
yeah, yeah, I agree. So, who are your intended target readers, and what do you hope to inspire in them when they hold your book, they read your stories? What do you want them to capture or to feel through your stories?
My target audience will be all adults from 17 years above until post-retirement. That's the audience. The target audience include Christian, non-Christian,
Mm,
people from all walks of life.
mm,
I hope to inspire them to become a doctor. They can be encouraged to cultivate the love of reading writing, publishing, and become a better person in life after reading my story.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure we definitely could appreciate very, how to say, like good stories from veteran doctors like you who have walked the path and to inspire people to, probably try out medical professions as their career path, or even those who are young doctors who are still going through the path for them to, like, maybe learn something and
It
get
will be
some.
very good for young doctors starting out in the career.
Mm, correct.
Young doctors,
Mm,
young doctors in the profession may get something out of it. Or even a young professional of any profession when you're starting out in life.
mm,
It's always good to see people who have walked through,
yep.
have gone through before you. So hopefully you won't learn the hard way.
Mm,
But most of the time we learn the hard way
mm.
and we fall down and we pick up again. But at the crossroad, you also don't know what happened to you. Which
True.
way you want to choose? Choose
Mm,
here or choose there? We don't know.
mm,
Sometimes we choose a wrong choice.
mm,
And then we go 10 years later and go back to the right choice. So you wasted 10 years.
mm.
But still, people like Bill Gates, people like Mark Zuckerberg,
Mm.
they also go off track and come back. If giants like that can go off track, I'm sure we also can go off track.
Mm, yeah. So we can find nuggets of wisdom from the stories. Would you be able to share with us maybe like one or two highlight stories from your book that maybe you want to, before we read it, you can give us a little bit of teaser or highlight?
No, okay. I highlight two stories.
Mm,
One is from pages 74 to 75. Uh, it talks about my life as an army officer. It is all about who you know. So now I quote unquote. I got I got to know and make friends with senior Air Force officers, pilots, and their families. We used to invite other officers to our house for meals and fellowship.
mm,
Sometimes when I travel in an army aircraft on official duty, the pilot invites me to sit next to him in the cockpit. Once when I was in the cockpit, I saw a full circle rainbow. It was breathtaking to say the least. The panoramic view from the cockpit was extremely impressive and beautiful, especially during takeoff and landing. Even after my tour of duty, I maintained contact with some of the Air Force officers in West Malaysia. They say it is not they say it is not what you know, but who you know. One of my Bido cousins was working as an airman in Labuan RM, Royal Malaysian Air Force Air Base. One day he told me he had been applying for a scholarship for many years, but had always been rejected and was not even shortlisted. When I heard this, I approached his commanding officer, the same officer who allowed me to sit in the cockpit. Uh, he is a major. He said, he told me, "Oh, I did not know that he's your cousin. You should have told me earlier." Within 3 months, my cousin received a scholarship to study aeronautical engineering in the USA.
mm,
So, considering the fact that my cousin had waited several years with no result, that was truly amazing. It's a wow moment. I share you another story on page 116, 116. This is a story about my dog,
mm,
Bobby. Bobby,
yep.
A dog is a man's best friend, and I had a dog in Ipoh. He was an Alsatian mongrel mixed breed. I call him Bobby, the same name as my other dog in Tanjung Malim. I took him home when he was only a puppy. One day, a cobra entered into the compound of my house. Bobby was very brave. He barked and guarded the compound and prevented the cobra from entering our house. I quickly called the fire rescue squad and they came over to my house and removed the cobra. So I was forever grateful to Bobby for his act of selfless courage. After 9 years, Bobby became very old and frail. One day when it was raining heavily, I opened the gate and Bobby rushed out of the house. I could not get him back into the house because of the heavy rain. I thought he would come back later, but he did not come back. Every day, my wife and myself would comb the neighborhood with our car to look for Bobby, but he was nowhere to be found. 3 days later, we spotted him lying down in the field, looking weak and frail. We took him into our car, brought him home, and looked after him. However, Bobby passed away peacefully after several days. I buried him in the compound of my house. I was very sad, but thank God I found him and had closure over an incident. Otherwise, I would still be feeling very guilty. And in this story, I see even a dog, we can feel very guilty, when we don't have a closure, and it's not even a human, it's only a dog. You can feel if we don't have closure, we will be devastated. So what about human being? So it gave me a lesson that we need to have closure.
Thank you so much. That was a very interesting story. Definitely, I have a dog of my own as well, so I definitely know how is it like to, pets, dog especially, they're like so loyal and they're really a dear friend. They're
Yeah,
always like,
they're very loyal.
always looking out for us. And yeah, thank you so much about your the story about the military as well. So good to hear like how to say very heartfelt stories like this. Really love and I'm sure that in your book there will be more of other these kind of stories as well. Yeah, so I would like to ask, besides aside from this book, what other books have you authored also? Or is there any other future projects coming from the side? Maybe you can share a little bit on this.
So this is the book that we are talking about today, the memoir of a doctor. Besides this book, I have another 22 books. I published 23 books in 20 months. All biblical books. Only one autobiography, the rest are Bible commentaries.
Yeah.
And these are the balance of the. I've been writing book for 20 months, but I only start publishing about 1 year ago. But it takes some time to compile. These are
Wow.
the books from my Amazon Author Central page. So as for future, I actually one book going to release in a matter of weeks. In a matter of weeks, this book is called "How I Published 23 Books in 20 Months."
Wow.
This is a sequel to my autobiography. This would be I can even call it Memoir of Doctor Part Two. So because I'm not at all famous. I'm unknown. I'm an unknown writer. I I I can't publish in the traditional publishing. But now with Amazon, it's easy. Amazon easy can publish as an independent without going through any agent, without going through any publishing house. You can do it independently. So that makes my life easier.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was an interesting long list of titles over there, and I'm sure some of you viewers, uh, maybe you're Christian and you would like to learn more about what Dr. Andrew has shared in the teaching in the Bible teachings that is listed among his titles. Okay, I know for Malaysians, typically most of us may not have access to the Amazon to buy from Amazon Kindle, the ebook store. But Dr. Andrew, I want to ask you, what if there are Malaysians who want to have access to some of your more Christian and biblical books? How can they access to you? Or would you consider maybe to put up your ebooks on iHub online bookstore as well, so that they can have access to it? What do you
Yeah,
think?
I will release the book to all my books to iHub. iHub will be able to market because the Malaysian can buy from.
All right, looking forward to that. And when your next book, the on the sequel, the part two one come out, maybe we can do another interview again to talk more about your
Yeah,
next book.
yeah, I'll be most happy to have that.
Yeah. So I guess we have come to the end of our interview today. Thank you so much, Dr. Andrew, for sharing so many of your stories. Really love listening to them. I think you got me interested to even go and check out the other stories in your book. So I guess that is all we will hear from Dr. Andrew today. So all right, everybody, thank you very much
Thank you very
for
much for iHub for hosting this interview. For
yeah
I'm very honored.
yeah no
Thank you very
problem.
much and have a good day.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you and see
Thank
you.
you. God
Okay,
bless. Okay.
okay.